And welcome back. We're about to venture off into our first segment, and this guy is in with us, and he is something else in the best way possible. Yaad 2017 is right upon us. It's actually coming up tomorrow, and who else to tell us more about it than the marketing and communications officer at NICH, none other than Neal. My brother, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Yes.
It's
and we
always
understand
nice.
you'll be playing some pan music by the end of the segment.
It's a fun Friday, Neal. It's a fun Friday.
Darn it, I didn't bring my pan.
Yeah, we can find some piece of metal or something.
Yeah.
It wouldn't work like that.
It wouldn't
Well,
work.
you know what? The one thing Yaad does teach us is that it's a lot more complicated than that.
Yes.
So, Neal, this is one of the most highlighted event in the calendar. I mean,
Eagerly anticipated, most watched, most demanded. When it moved from one location to another, people are upset because how will I get there instead of there? When if I think Yaad, I think here.
and other people were like, yes, they have enough space for me now.
And that's what we wanted to focus on.
Yeah.
The fact that we'll have a better location for the amount of people that have been just growing every single year.
Yeah.
Because pan music is absolutely dynamic for what it is. It brings the best of everything from classical music to pop, to rock, to soca and calypso,
to now
reggaeton,
Wow.
to you name it. It's something that can be incorporated and replayed, remixed, revitalized through pan music, because it absolutely sees no bounds. There is no we can't play that pan. No.
And I'm sure there's somebody who would try. So here's the thing though, I think it's amazing to see how this event has become so well received over the years. And I think a lot of it, when we think of tying into our Caribbean roots, Carnival is obviously one example of that, but also the sound of pan just tends to put us in a celebration mood.
See, I have someone was talking to me about it the other day, and they were a church goer, and they said that Yaad gives them the opportunity to celebrate and to bash, because they get the feeling, the vibe of the music, and even though it might be worldly music, it's something that, because it doesn't have the words, it's pure. There is no negativity in it. There is nothing bad about pan music.
Yeah.
It's something that simply takes what everybody really wants, and that's the music of it, and puts it out there.
You know, this is where I could always say that we're blessed to be a part of the Caribbean.
Amen.
For the mere fact that pan music actually brings that out. When you hear pan music, you actually feel that beachy flavor. You actually feel that Caribbean breeze to it. And this is why a lot of people want to see it or want to go out there. But tell us about some of those that will be there, because the lineup is always one of the most attractive. There are people who have got their crew who wants to see specific bands.
Okay, so first of all, the lineup will include the Gateway Youth Center, the Dynamics, the Caribbean Quintet, Pandemonium Juniors and Seniors. And this year we are looking forward to a phoenix rising from its ashes. My father was a member of the All-Star Steel Band way back before Cavemen came out.
Flintstone and them boy.
Yes, back with Fred and Barney and Pebbles and Bam Bam. My father was playing steel pan. He actually toured and had the opportunity to go to Michigan with the All-Star Steel Band. My cousins, Clifton Hall, for example, was also a member, and this is something that they loved, and it rewarded them on so many different levels.
Okay.
So just hearing the name, the All-Star Steel Band, is going to hopefully bring out an entire different age group for this. And not because they're going to be playing music from back then, but because of the lineage and the heritage of the name itself.
Yes.
It's something that to have a resurgence, a rebirth of a group, like, especially if they stay true to who they were or to what the group was, this is going to be something massive.
So we have quite a number of bands. Are there any other bands that'll be?
No.
You know, one of the things we've seen as well is how even pan players have really evolved.
Yes.
And now they look into the full performance as well as the music that they're playing. It's like it's not hard enough to concentrate on hitting the right portion of the pan for the right key. You know, you need to do dances and antics and costumes and whatnot, but it adds to the overall show.
It does, and I think that's something that is going to be important not only for pan but for everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to do what pan is meant to do, which is invigorate, energize, and help us to celebrate, you have to be doing that as well.
Yeah.
It's like going to church and having the preacher there saying, okay, open your Bibles to...
That still exists. Let's move on, right?
No, it doesn't. No, but you won't get the message.
Yeah.
So what the pan players, what the musicians, what I guess the entire entertainment system in Belize has learned to do is to invest more of themselves in it.
Yeah.
And with that, they do the steps, they do the shouting, they do the choreography.
Yeah.
On top of playing the instrument, which again, like you said, is already difficult. It's something that really does take a lot of skill and talent.
Definitely. But this is where I see us getting better when it comes to pan music, because back in the day, we saw a lot of youths in it. A lot of children are actually involved, and they grew up playing this pan music. They've got the rhythm to it, the energy, because this takes a lot of energy.
Yes, it does.
Especially reaching to the shall I be, you know. So we could actually see the energy. But the point I'm trying to make here is that a lot of children have been drawn to pan music, have been drawn to these bands, growing up with these bands. Now, would you say that this year is one of those big ones whereby a lot of participation are getting into it?
I think every year for pan year is a big one. And it's because of exactly what you said. We have, example, the junior group that's being a part of tomorrow's show, where it's not their first time.
Yeah.
And these are children, I prefer the term youth, but these are youths who are growing up in pan.
Yeah.
Now, sidestep. Music in schools is something that's very important. Music in life is something that's very important. It soothes the savage beast. However, when you incorporate music into education, into a young person growing up, it does certain things to the brain, and it helps them to be more thoughtful, more successful even, some people will say. And with that, having these people growing up learning steel pan, learning a musical instrument, learning music, it does so much more for them than just it stimulates the mind. And that is something that we at Panyard, I believe as a Belizean society and community are grateful for, because it's something that keeps their interest. The fact that, like you said, these youths grow up and they become juniors, then seniors, and then they end up broadcasting everything that makes pan so special, which is what talking about it it's you can feel from what we're saying, how we're saying that this is exciting. And when they play and you listen and you feel and you allow yourself to be moved, because that's all the art is. Something that allows you to experience through sound, sight. It just
And while I love that your description sounds so soulful, it's fun. It's fun
More
to
than
see
anything
them
else.
dancing and playing the pan, and without any lyrics, you know. Although most people end up singing along if it's a very
Of
popular
course.
song.
Yeah.
So let's talk the details of the event. So it's going to be at the Marion Jones.
Yes.
And the tickets
are available right now. You can get them at the Bliss Center for the Performing Arts, aka The Bliss, Southern Foreshore. They're only $10. Again, only $10 for this type and this amount of interaction, this amount of enjoyment that you're going to get. For adults, and even more ridiculous, it's only $5 for kids.
Steel pan to be like expo.
You know what I mean?
So they have the show starting at 7:30.
Yes.
And what's the estimated length of the show? It's like 2 hours, 3 hours into the morning.
No. You know this thing goes until about midnight.
Yeah.
We will get as much as we can out of it.
And then people will still want more.
Of course. Well, I mean, I never hear my song from, back in the day, or I never hear the one I want to hear from this group. But
Or they were so good and we need an encore.
that's usually
right?
the one that we hear.
Yeah. Now, this is a non-competitive event.
No.
And I think this is really the beauty of Panyad, especially when it was in the early stages, that you saw some of your favorites from different parts of the country come together, and they all performed separately and then some parts together. What is it like getting all the bands on board and coordinating them?
You know, most people would say, oh, it's so difficult. It's one of the hardest parts to do the logistics. And in honesty, it's a lot of fun because you simply remind them and they're like, yes, yes.
They're ready.
You know what? We have this smaller group and they might be interested as well. Let me ask them for you.
Yeah.
And then they come back with, you know, we thought about it and yes, yes. So it really is a joy because like I said, it's an event that many people look forward to. But it's an event that many of the steel band groups also look forward to. This is the premier showcase for steel band groups and steel band music.
Of course.
And to be a part of it is it's why you join a band.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but with all the steel bands that are out there, it's actually a family atmosphere with these folks.
Oh, yeah.
And like we mentioned, you've got kids all the way to youth, teen, adults, you know, so it's a family atmosphere that is there. And for the audience as well, one of the things that I think they should keep into consideration is that a lot of these bands are actually their bands that will be at this Panyad that they've been not competing but performing abroad.
Yes.
Like for instance, the steel. What's the name of the band? Steel Pan Orchestra. The Pantempters.
Yes.
Now this is one of the groups that a lot of people would want to see, and they'll be there as well, right?
Pantempters, I don't think so. They're doing a Panyad Belmopan.
Oh wow! So they're spreading things out, spreading the love.
Yes, exactly.
All right, there you go.
So Belmopan will be able to have an event as well. Now, what regions are the groups coming from? Are they primarily Belize City based?
Honestly, primarily Belize City based.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, having a Panyard in Belmopan, stemming a little bit, they have taken a bit more of the Belmopan steel bands because it costs to come to Panyard
bring all
in the
that.
city.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a big band in Belmopan, Julie's group Panrifics, and that's one of the things we've found over time, that it is costly to bring all the equipment into one location.
Because you have to remember that a bass pan is an oil drum.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you don't play one bass pan, you play I think 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So that
And
in
that's
and of
just the
itself,
bass.
and that's just one of the
part
bass.
of the
Because
band, yes.
sometimes you might have 2 or 3 sets. Depending on the size of your group. So when you move a steel band, you need at least a bus. You need a moving van in the case of
a bus.
because you haven't even brought the people yet.
Yeah, that's true. So while the September celebration is on and Panyad tonight, what are some of the other activities we could look forward to throughout the September celebration?
The Children's Rally,
That's today.
yes, at the Holy Redeemer Parish Hall. Panyard tomorrow. We've got quite a few things happening actually, because this evening we've got from the Belize International Film Festival, we have the launch of Hogan and the launch of the film festival at that. Wow, you're putting me in a spot here. I need my calendar because the one thing I don't
You
want to do
haven't
is
memorized
There are a
all
few
these
things that we're having to the people, man. Come on, you've got this.
it's just I can't. I can't.
If I'm not mistaken, last night was a tribute to Belizean.
Yes, it
patrons.
was.
Okay. So I'm sure that was a nice event as well.
That was. It was broadcast on one of the other stations in terms of radio and television. Tonight, like I said, we have the Biff Media launch. Tomorrow is Panyard. Sunday for me will be a rest day. I will need it. And then we move into Monday, which, oh gosh, see, you're putting me on a spot here.
Don't worry, we only needed the weekend
We only
lineup.
needed-
Monday we'll check in again and see what's
There you
happening.
go. I'll send a love letter.
And the good point with Panyad too, if you're in another part of the country and you can't make it, it is broadcast live.
Yes,
it's
ma'am.
usually a joint feed, so you can be able to watch it on Channel 5.
Yep.
And it's better to be out there.
Definitely.
But of course, we understand if you're very far away, then probably you can watch it from the comfort of your own home. My question is about weather. Is it a rain or shine event?
You know what? The answer to that is yes.
Okay. Good.
Yes.
Rain or shine.
Yes. when they hit the pan and you have that layer of water on the top and you see it splash, it looks even better.
I like that the non-pan player is saying that, right?
Well, obviously.
So, and it's within the inner field?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So you're not going to sit on the
Well, you can if you
stadium.
want to. We
Yeah.
won't stop you from sitting all the way back there.
Yeah,
If
but the
you
better
want.
feeling is right in front where you can feel the music.
Exactly.
Okay. So Neal, anything else you'd like to say to the public about the Panyard event?
2 words.
Uh-huh.
Be there.
Okay. I thought it was going to be don't miss.
Oh, get your
Be
tea
there. Guys, and I also wanted to say that thank you very, very much for having us from NICH here on the show. We
Yeah.
really appreciate the opportunity to share what's happening and to keep people aware of what's happening throughout the country and the city. And we really wanted you guys and all of the team here at Oya to know that we sincerely appreciate all the effort that you guys put into keeping us here and going.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, and we'll show you a little bit of a snippet of last year's Panyard to get your appetite going for the event that takes place tomorrow at Marion Jones. It starts at 7:30. You can get your tickets early. I'm sure there's enough space at the Marion Jones, but it's always good to have your tickets ahead of time to avoid lines, right?
Yep.
$10 for adults, $5 for children. And go on out with the entire family and enjoy the beautiful music. Neal, thank you so much for being with us and sharing the details once again. We're going to go ahead and take a break after you take a little look back on last year's event. And when we come back, it'll be for Digicel, so stay tuned.